today I'm joined by Kelly Jenkins, founder of Soulatics Artificial Intelligence Solutions, building AI tools that delete busy work and help businesses grow profit. Welcome, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you. Kelly, what inspired you to start Soulatics? What challenges in businesses were you trying to solve?
There's a couple of reasons. I think first off, the AI revolution and what it's meaning not only in business but to all of us personally has been one of the biggest revolutions since computers started, since the internet, since mobile phones, all of which I'm old enough to remember when they started and had such a significant impact on what we do. And I think the AI revolution or transformation is a key kind of watershed moment in how we can develop as people and as businesses. The interesting thing about it, and part of the reason I've set up Soulatics, is people kind of know about AI. I think most people use ChatGPT, but they don't necessarily know how they can apply it to business.
So most of people, they're actually intimidated when they hear about AI. You can tell us, maybe explain in simple terms and or in practical terms what AI actually is and how whatever you're doing is different than ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's a great question and a good place to start. So the way we boil it down is really it takes away the manual work within businesses. So what we call the busy work. So as an example, it's estimated that an average worker will spend between 6 and 10 hours a week just on administrative busy work. All of that can be automated. Salespeople, for example, so they'll spend, Salesforce did a recent survey and they spend 28% of their time with clients. The rest is making proposals, doing CRM work, all of this, which really isn't the best use of their time. So where AI can come in is to take away that manual work. So what we say is the real ROI of AI is time. Because let me ask you this question. What's the one thing you need more of and can't buy?
Kelly Jenkins' motto, time, of course.
It's time, of course. That's the one thing that we can't buy, we all need more of. So when AI is applied properly, then this is what it does. But I'll also emphasize the most important part of it is what we call HITL, which is human in the loop. Because because our personal belief is that it should really take the heavy lifting, but the big decisions should still be made by humans.
Of course. We'll come to this later in the talk. When we talk about Soulatics and in your work with real estate teams, you've definitely engaged with real estate projects as well. What kinds of tasks or workflows does AI usually help with in terms of real estate?
So there's kind of three key ways where AI is effective for real estate. It's within the administrative process, because a lot of companies, not just real estate, will have lots of fragmented systems. So making them all connect is one area.
We're highlighting this today because we're in the Acres Real Estate event.
Exactly, which is a fantastic show. I've been speaking to a lot of real estate clients here, and it's interesting to get their feedback. So you have administrative, being able to do deep research. So almost from an investor point of view. So you can do deep research which can be automated. So you can analyze thousands and thousands of pages of data and condense that down. But perhaps the biggest one is what we call speed to lead. So a lot of companies will spend a lot of money from the front end getting the leads coming into the business from a marketing perspective. Yet the delay when it comes in can sometimes be anywhere between 4 to 6 hours, 24 hours, can sometimes not reply at all. The most shocking stat is that 47%, this is within real estate, 47% of the inquiries that come in are not contacted until 4 to 7 hours. Nearly half of them don't get responded to at all. So when you start looking at that and breaking it down, and then you kind of go, right, how many of those are qualified? How many leads are you losing a month? I sat down with a client recently, we was working out they was losing over $1 million purely in lost potential. So this is where, to give you an example of a workflow, so very simply, you can get an inquiry come in. Now, I'll talk a little bit.
This is how the Soulatics is incorporated in the system of companies. You're going to explain this.
Yeah, so we build these tools. Okay. So what we do is we build AI tools, automations and platforms, so they're bespoke to the company. So the way it works, and this is where it's slightly different from ChatGPT, and this is probably the biggest trend of what's happening with AI at the moment. It's called agentic AI.
Agentic AI.
Agentic. So you have two forms. You have generative AI, which is like your ChatGPT. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. Nothing more than that. Now, where it gets really smart is for agentic, because what it does then, it comes in, but it's all referenced off of its own trained brain. So the way I would explain it to you, or any real estate client, think of your best assistant that's fully trained in what you want them to do, 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, no coffee breaks, no holidays. So when an inquiry comes in, it doesn't necessarily come in during office hours, right? It can come in 9 o'clock on a Friday. Invariably, more often than not, that investor will not get a call back until Monday, once it's gone through the process. Now, what agentic AI does, it creates a team members and workflows. So let's look at the process. The inquiry comes in. First off, it gets answered. This is the first key differential, because behind that, it has its own AI brain, so it's trained on the company's information, their tone of voice, their brand, their products. So it's already trained to speak like a receptionist.
So it's an automatic reply.
It's an automatic reply, but it's an intelligent automatic reply. We call it contextual, because it understands the question and then it responds. Now from there, it'll ask 2 or 3 qualification questions. So now we're starting to see the effect of it. So you're going from one piece to another part of the workflow. Yeah, we get a qualification. If they don't respond, we can set a follow-up automatically. I know you was looking at this, sir. Are you still interested in this? Here's a brochure. Would you like to see a bit more? And then from there, once it's qualified, we can set, this is where the human in the loop comes in. We say, would you like to set an appointment with a broker? Here's the calendar. What time suits you? So automatically it's done. What that does for business, it takes away a lot of the heavy lifting because it's automated. It asks intelligent questions, not chatbot questions, because I think we've all seen chatbots and they're a bit robotic and answer 1, 2, 3. This is intelligently programmed
according to how it's fed with like a human brain, exactly. How a normal human would function and answer.
That's right. And the best thing about it, it has what's called a continuous learning loop. So the more it's used, the more it learns, the more it improves. We can analyze what questions work well, what don't. So it's a continual process. So it moves from just a question answer to a whole team workflow. And then what that does for the broker is they're spending less time qualifying, less time updating the CRM, because it does that automatically. They spend more time with people. And really for me, this is kind of at the heart of what we do, is we want people to spend more time with people.
It's incredible because I love how this system fits for any field.
That's correct.
It just increases efficiency and reduces the useless working hours behind like on the office behind the computer.
It's exactly that. It's exactly.
Can you share an example of like a team before it was using and after it was using Soulatics? Do you have a real example?
I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to give any confidences away. But already the efficiencies have gone up significantly. Well, there's 2. I'll give another example. This is slightly out of real estate, but it will give you an example of how this whole agentic thought process works. So this is deep research. So there's a client of ours that will work. He works within a legal framework. Now, for him to produce his legal opinion, these can be 40 to 50 pages. Because they're legal, they have to research lots of individual country laws, lots of different laws from different jurisdictions. This research alone can take up to 5 days. Because with these legal opinions, it's not about answering the question, it's proving the answer. So there's a lot of, it's not just the research, you've got to fact check it, you've got to get all of that correct. So we've effectively set up an agentic workflow of agents. One will do the research, one will do the fact checking, one will then bring all the citations, one will fact check it again, and then another one will put it in the presentation which they want, which is their usual presentation, and at that point it will go to the partner to sign it off. That process normally takes them 5 days. We cut that down to 2 because it can be done and then reviewed and gone out.
That's incredible. Wow. And coming to the point where we said, where does this line come between the work of the AI and where the human steps in? What should always remain human?
I think ultimate decision making should be human. I think
so
where
the last step.
Yes, yeah. I think there needs to be checks and balances. There needs to be reviews. Whilst it can be automated, and I think there's companies which do this, which they'll automate an end-to-end process. My personal view is there should be a human in the loop just to check for quality control checks. So I'll equate this to the restaurant business. So you'll get someone like a Gordon Ramsay, so who's a very, very well-known global chef. Any of these global chefs will have their own restaurants. Now, when they go around the world checking on their restaurants, they're checking for one thing, because they don't have time to cook themselves, but they're checking on quality control.
Of course.
The quality of the output matches their
That's what he cares about. That's what's going to get him more customers, the quality at the end. If that's gone, then...
Yeah. And really, that's the beauty of it. So, again, kind of going full circle to what we were saying about at the beginning, the way we work is very much with the human in the loop, but we help clients find the how. Because I think a lot of clients aren't, and a lot of business in general, as I say, they're not quite sure of how to apply it. Some think, oh, brilliant, it can take care of everything. Because you can have voice agents in these kind of areas, and some of them are incredible. But our personal view is the human's important. The other thing I'll add to that is the tools that we build, we very much build in getting one thing right and then expanding on it. So we make them very user-friendly to use, very easy to see, because a lot of tech products will be like the cockpit of a plane. So
even for small companies, like it doesn't have to be only for large corporations. If someone who's a startup and wants to refer or use your services from Soulatics, I want it to be easy accessible and easy to use. I don't want to go through all the
rigmarole. And I think the stat is 67% of these builds generally don't work. And the reason why is because people try to do too much too quickly. So the adoption within the teams is very hard, because it's like, oh, I've got to learn another system. Oh, but I've already got that system. And so it doesn't work. So we don't believe in that. So we believe very much in let's get one piece working and working really well. And then let's build on top of that. It's called Land and Expand. It's called, I don't know if you're familiar with the book Atomic Habits.
Yes.
Habit stacking.
Yeah.
I've used that personally. So I've been on a weight loss journey where I've lost 40 kgs.
Yeah, please tell me about it.
Yeah, so I was 135 kgs, I'm 95 now. And that really came from the principle of habit stacking.
Yes.
Not deliberate, I tried for years and years and years, but then I sort of found a system that worked. I got one thing right, made it automatic, set and forget, layered something else on. So I started with walking and then cycling and then a fitness class and then my diet and then
step by step building upon, and that's great.
And that principle was kind of why I set up Soulatics, because results are guaranteed if the system and the process is correct. Agentic AI and what AI offers is robust workflows which just work. If the inputs are there, the result is guaranteed. So this is why it's very, very kind of at the core of why I set the business up and what the business is about. And to help businesses find their how, we don't want to sit in and kind of go, look at all of these wonderful tools. It's like, right, tell me about
your reason behind it, and
where can we help you? What's your bottlenecks? Where are you losing money? What keeps you awake at night? Tell me that, because if I can take away 40% of that through making you a tool, then that's going to free that up for more time for your people, more time for your salespeople to talk to people. The other thing I'll add to that is there's what we call you have $1,000 staff doing $10 tasks. So you'll have a lot of high value staff. Why are they spending so much time making proposals?
Where they could be doing other stuff that can make the business grow.
Exactly. Put them where they hold the most valuable. You know, I come from a sales background. You make more sales and better relationships when you're in front of people.
You can do so much from
that's real, and that's at the heart.
Money. I always say time is money.
It is, and that's the one thing which we can't buy, right?
Exactly.
But these tools give time back.
That's a good and Kelly, if someone wanted to get in touch with you and use Soulatics to incorporate it in their own business, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways. So they can come to the website, which is soulatics.com. Also, I'm a speaker for the Innovation Experts Real Estate Institute. So I give regular talks at the Institute and at events about how AI can work within the real estate business. So you'd be more than welcome to attend any of those.
To end on, Mr. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all your insights about Soulatics. And thank you everyone for watching and tuning in. For everyone listening, take a moment this week to think about one part of your work where technology or automation could save you time. Every small step can make a big difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being us today.